You know, I've had a couple days to decompress and really reflect on the Donald Trump Bronx rally. And honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I knew there were about 10 different left-wing groups that were trying to build some sort of protest. AOC, who basically has watched the Bronx turn into a black market street fair ever since she started chasing jobs out of New York. Of course, she had a lot to say. She promised us that Donald Trump was not welcome in the Bronx. She said he would have to bus people in and pay them for support. And, Trump himself, he didn't know. He apparently expected maybe as low as 3,500 people. But this is what happened.
What was the crowd like and what kind of response did he get?
Well, certainly a bigger crowd than I think Democrats would like to see, particularly given this is one of the bluest counties in the entire country. Now, one of the things that was interesting to me is that the Trump campaign said that they were going to micro-target to get people from the community to come to this rally. I wasn't sure what to expect. I've gone to a lot of these rallies across the country, and there are often people who travel hundreds of miles to see Donald Trump, and they're not necessarily part of the community. However, one of the things that I found was that there were a lot of people here that were actually from the Bronx.
Where are you from?
The Bronx, actually.
I'm originally from the Bronx and from New York.
I'm from the Bronx.
Right here in the Bronx, New York. This is home, right here.
I want to join you in having the Bronx great again. Please accept this Democrat, this black Puerto Rican with a kinky hair and a broken English. Please accept my endorsement for you as a president. Thank you very much.
Here's the thing, man. Love the guy or hate the guy. You cannot watch this stuff and not be affected. You cannot watch this stuff and not recognize that something incredibly special is happening. Something different is happening. And this, don't make the mistake. This is not all about Donald Trump. I think that's the media's greatest mistake. I think it's the root of most of their gaslighting. But this is not about one guy. This is about real people really waking up to what the left has been pushing on them and tricking them with for generations.
The minute crooked Joe Biden shuffles out the door, I will rapidly rebuild the greatest economy in the history of the world. Look, we had the greatest economy in history. Everybody here, where you have a small business or if you had a job, you were getting more than you ever made. And we had no inflation. We had no 1.4%, considered none, considered better than none, because frankly, none in its own way is a bad thing also. We had a perfect number, 1.4%. It doesn't matter whether you're black or brown or white or whatever the hell color you are. It doesn't matter. We are all Americans, and we're going to pull together as Americans. Down to $1.87 a gallon, and actually times when it was much lower than that. We had a record low poverty rate for black Americans and Hispanic Americans. We had the best poverty rate in terms of the positive number ever in our history for black Americans and Hispanic Americans. We lifted 6.6 million people out of poverty. Nothing like that has ever happened in our country. And the real middle class income rose over $6,000 a year. Think of that. Under Biden, it's a disaster. Real middle class income has fallen over $2,000 a year. That's a lot. That's a difference of $8,000. Real earnings for African Americans are down 5.6%. African Americans are getting slaughtered. Hispanic Americans are getting slaughtered. And these millions and millions of people that are coming into our country, the biggest impact and the biggest negative impact is against our black population and our Hispanic population, who are losing their jobs, losing their housing, losing everything they can lose. They're the ones that are affected most by what's happening. Not only the fact that you've lost the use of your schools, your parks, and your hospitals. Joe Biden's inflation. Who the have that? Do they have it?
This is exactly what every single one of those people are doing there. There are few places historically more blue than the Bronx, and there are few places more dramatically affected by the absolute nightmare that's been created on our southern border than the Bronx. I mean, it's undeniable. I mean, these people see it, these people feel it, and these people, honestly, they realize that they probably cannot survive it. But unfortunately, that's not just something that's felt far away in the Bronx. People are getting crushed everywhere. And everything that this guy said is true, which is exactly why the liberal corporate media will not show their victims anything the man actually says. They'd rather just tell you who he is, tell you what you should be afraid of, and decide for you, what is or isn't true, basically. And there's almost no one better to do that than one of the dumbest people in the history of Congress, AOC. I mean, leading up to the rally, she said that Donald Trump was paying people and bussing them in from as far as Pennsylvania or whatever to come to the rally, right? This is the same person that also tells you that Donald Trump is broke, as she just pats herself on the back and her party on the back for the insane lawfare that they're using against the guy. Obviously, people at the rally, they see right through her insanity.
AOC says if you're not a Democrat, you don't belong here in the Bronx. Right. What do you say?
I disagree with that.
I don't think she should be here in the Bronx. I actually don't know any Democrats living in the Bronx.
Look, AOC, look at the tremendous support for Mr. Donald J. Trump.
You need to tell her then she need to stay out the Bronx because look at all the people around. Everybody's here for Trump.
I am a Democrat, and I belong here.
And who are you voting for?
Donald J. Trump.
What has AOC done for the Bronx?
She's done nothing for the Bronx. Nothing. Nothing's changed. Nothing's gotten any better.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Let her come to the Bronx and let her come among us people that struggle. She doesn't even know what struggle is.
Then we have the illegals flooding our borders, coming into our communities, sucking up the resources that we barely have. Why should we allow this to happen? Every last person here needs to rise up and get fighting mad, and make sure that you're registered to vote and go out there and you vote up and down the line, not just the presidency. The local elections are more important than the presidency. Get rid of AOC. Vote her ass out. Get rid of Richie Torres. Vote his ass out. I have nothing to lose. So I can stand up here and I can say this. None of you here are paid to be here. She got on color TV this morning and said that Trump busted in these people and paid everyone out here. Who here got paid to be here today? Are you here because you know that this is the time in history that you're in the right place at the right time and you need to be here today?
I mean, bro, what can you even add to that? Real people really pissed off because they're really figuring things out and they're doing it all in real time. These people have had enough. And that lady's absolutely freaking right. We got nothing to lose. I mean, absolutely nothing to lose. How awesome are these people, man? Remember those people. Remember that woman, especially when the media starts gaslighting you and telling you that there were just a bunch of MAGA cult racist extremists and paid agitators, right? Remember that when tone-deaf ivory tower governors try to tell you what it is that you think and what it is that you're going to do.
Well, I'll tell you, it won't make a difference at all, Jake, and that is for Donald Trump to be the ringleader of and invite all his clowns to a place like the Bronx. New York will never, ever support Donald Trump for president. We know him better than anyone, and that means we understand what he's all about is just for himself. So this state will go solidly behind Joe Biden for president, as it has in the past. So he wants to spend his time doing these made-up fake rallies and pretending their support here. Be my guest, because while you're doing that, Donald Trump, Joe Biden's out there on the other side, making sure he's delivering for all Americans. And so go ahead, spend all your time you want in New York, because we'll be with Joe Biden, and Joe Biden's out there winning over the rest of the battleground states.
I'm honestly not even sure what the hell that was. I don't know what she was trying to say. But essentially what I think she said, what I think I heard her say was, you can spread all the truth you want in the state of New York, but you're wasting your time. New York has fallen, basically. This is what she believes. And I think, honestly, I hope that it's time that that state sends her personally a message. But who knows? I don't know. Maybe she's right. Maybe there really are people in the universe who enjoy a 60% effective tax rate and enjoy subways so damn dangerous that the army needs to patrol them. I don't know. Maybe she's right, but I've got a feeling, pretty strong feeling that she's wrong.
New York was where you came to make it big. You want to make it big, you had to be in New York. But sadly, this is now a city in decline. We have filthy encampments of drugged out homeless people living in our places that we've spent so much time with children where they used to play. We have lunatics killing innocent bystanders by pushing them onto the railroad tracks for sport. Don't worry. It gets so positive. Remember, we're going to win. We're all winners. We're going to win so big, we're going to make it bigger and better than ever before. Remember that. Importantly, for the people that are before me today, we are going to make life in New York affordable again. It's gotten totally out of control. The minute crooked Joe Biden shuffles out the door, I will rapidly rebuild the greatest economy the history of the world.
Congressman, compare for me for one moment that with this from our current president at Morehouse College.
What is democracy? The trail of broken promises still leave black communities behind. What is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot. And most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure?
What do you think of that?
What I think is that Joe Biden has done such a terrible job that now he must demonize everything and everybody. He has to have such a negative campaign. Compare that with President Trump, who is uplifting, who's talking about what America can be, about how he did it once and he can actually do it again and do it better than before. That is the message that Americans want to hear. Not just Republicans, not just Democrats, not just independents, Americans. And in President Trump's speech today, he was talking to the Americans that are in New York and Americans across the country. We can get this job done for all of the American people. We all can thrive, but it starts with firing Joe Biden and making Donald Trump the 47th president of the United States.
I don't think that there's ever been a time. I personally have never, ever seen a time where there was so much daylight, this much daylight between our two choices. Just think about where we're at, man. Not one word Donald Trump said there was wrong. Not one word was inaccurate. It is all 100% true, 100% factual, 100% felt by real people. That is exactly what we're seeing in this world. Juxtapose that with, nothing Joe Biden has done has been successful, and nothing he has done has even been for the good of the country. Do not do these things with the good of the country in mind. You do not destroy energy policy. You do not destroy immigration policy. You don't destroy Title IX. You don't support porn in schools and radical agendas towards kids. You do not do these things if your goal is to improve anyone's life. It's just that simple. We could not have a clearer decision to make, man. And it's funny to watch the left. Everything they tell you about Donald Trump, everything they say he is exactly what they support in Joe Biden. But that's just my take, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.